Ladies and gentlemen, we back. Trae Young is officially a Washington Wizard as he got traded in the middle of the game yesterday. I haven't seen that one before in the NBA. I think I saw it once in baseball, but yeah, he got traded in the middle of the game. But as a Trae Young fan, I could not be more excited because, well, I know in an earlier video I said Atlanta should not trade Trae Young because he is so good, but I saw something after I posted that video a couple days later that kind of flipped me to the side of that Atlanta should trade Trae Young because it was a tweet from NBA Central, not NBA Centel, I made sure, but shout out to NBA Centel. And Tim, we're just going to go with Tim. He's an ESPN analyst. I don't want to botch his last name out of respect for him, so I don't want to do that. But on December 29th, he tweeted something that kind of seriously rubbed me the wrong way. It was, the Hawks are looking for ways to get rid of Trae Young. And I don't love this tweet. I don't love the wording at all. I don't know if Tim worded it that way or if that came straight from the Hawks organization. I pray Tim worded it that way because if it came from the Hawks, shame on them. That is an absolutely horrible way to word trying to trade your face of the franchise for many years and the guy who led you to an Eastern Conference Finals. And to use words like get rid of is just extremely disrespectful in my opinion. I think there needs to be a level of respect that Hawks organization should have for Trae Young. They should keep things like that under wraps and in the organization, and respectfully, we are open to dealing Trae Young, not get rid of. And in other tweets I saw, using the word actively. That is not the way you go about trading your franchise guy, your face. I mean, that's how you go about getting rid of, I don't know, Colin Kaepernick. I don't know. Someone who causes problems like that. I don't know. That was, NFL, I don't know. He was the first name that popped in my head. That was controversial. It was just the first name. But that should not be how you try to trade Trae Young. And for Trae Young, the money aside, I don't think it's understood how truly difficult it is to play for an organization that does not want you. The Atlanta Hawks did not want Trae Young anymore. So him having a difficult time playing well was because he's mentally taxed. I mean, they just didn't want him. Using words like he had to have seen these tweets. And using words like get rid of has to be taxing on him. So him having this tough season, it is on him, but it's also on the Hawks as an organization. But don't worry. All is well. Because there's a little team in the capital that swooped in and saved Trae Young from his prison in Atlanta. And prison's a strong word, but because the Hawks players, they look like they love Trae Young. Coaches look like they love Trae Young, but the ownership doesn't. And the people who made the decision, they don't look like they love Trae Young. So that's why, prison, because they don't want him. So Washington does, however, and I love this. I love everything about this. I love everything about the NBA, especially, except Tyronn Lue. I hate Tyronn Lue. But I love when a star gets a fresh chance in a new spot. And that is what's going on. Especially this, just like complete reset for Trae Young. He is going to a Washington team that is not very good. They're 10-26, 14th in the East. They have the second worst defense in the league. So, hey, that can't get much worse. But they also have the 27th ranked offense. I guess third worst offense. And he is only going to help that. And he's going to such a young team. He's getting slid into a lineup that's going to look like him at the 1, a 22-year-old Keyshawn George at the 2, a 21-year-old Bilal Coulibaly at the 3, a 34-year-old Chris Middleton, whose contract is expiring at the end of the year, so he'll probably get replaced by Julian Champagnie, and a 20-year-old Alex Sarr at the 5. This team is incredibly young. And Trae Young will probably be here next year because he's definitely going to take that $49 million player option. So this team is incredibly young. They need guidance and direction, and Trae Young can do that. He's been in those deep playoffs runs. We're not talking about a guy who's just one and dones every single season, like, play in, eliminated, first round, eliminated. He has made it, and he took a team there. He was the guy on that Hawks team. They had like the second best offense in the league. So he knows what he's doing. So he's going to this young team that needs his guidance and his direction. And he has this free reign to kind of just shape and mold this team to the best version of themselves. And he has this amazing center in Alex Sarr, who will be able to help him return to this high-end version of himself. So where he can flourish, he's going to be able to score. He's going to have the ball a ton, which is what he loves to do. He loves to have the ball. But he's also going to be able to pass because he's going to help mold this team. And his amazing passing is going to do that. He's going to find the guys when he needs to find them to help them better themselves as well, with them bettering him. So this is just a match made in heaven for Trae Young and the Washington Wizards. It's just beautifully done. And for the Hawks, if I told you, let's put ourselves in the shoes of the Atlanta Hawks and a fan of the Hawks for a second. If I would have told you that your face of the franchise a couple years ago, if I would have told you that your face of the franchise would have gotten traded as a salary dump. He was traded to get rid of his contract. He took your team to an Eastern Conference Finals, led the league in scoring, has led the league in assists multiple times, and he was traded as a salary dump. You would probably look at me like I'm insane. You would question my sanity. But that's what just happened. They traded him for C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert, an expiring contract in C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert. So, and there were no picks involved. And I think that's what I want to focus on. Because that is what happens when you play your cards so badly, like the Hawks did, like I said earlier, using words like trying to get rid of and actively. The Wizards had no reason to add anything to this deal because the Hawks did nothing but want to get rid of Trae Young so badly. Also, there weren't many other teams involved. There was like the Kings and, I don't know, maybe another team, I'm not really sure. But there was no other reason to add anything to this deal. But it is good for the Hawks because they get to take away from, the books that $46 million and his $49 million player option next year, which he is going to take. And they get to take off CJ's $30 million next year, who is a good player. He'll be able to slide into that rotation and play well, I mean, CJ's always a good scorer. He's a better defender than Trae Young. So he'll be able to a plug-and-play guy until his contract expires. This isn't going to change the Hawks or anything. They're going to finish the season, play in probably, maybe a little bit higher, but this doesn't change much. So all they're really left with is Corey Kispert's $13 million. And they have a ton of money. Both sides really have a ton of money getting freed up with Chris Middleton's contract and now CJ's contract, but, the Wizards taking on Trae Young. But they just free up a little bit of money. So I guess I thought it was a bad deal when I first saw it, but the more I sit on it, I kind of like it for both sides because the Hawks, get rid of all this money, but I love it for the Wizards. I love it for Trae Young. I love it. I love it. I love it for Washington. I'm so excited for Trae Young. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about with my boy Trae Young. He gonna show up in DC and he's gonna start hooping. I don't know if it's this year. It is going to be this year. He's going to be hooping. But next year, man, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a couple years down the line. But that Wizards team is going to be good. I'm so excited for this. So, just my quick reaction and thoughts on this deal. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching. And just remember, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with a microphone and an opinion. Peace out.